Hello, welcome to another episode of Southern Truth. Been a while since I've been here, and yes, I just came back from a vacation last week. And the day that I came back, there was news going all around the world of the assassination attempt on the former 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I get off the plane, I get home, and my phone's going absolutely crazy on Sunday Australian time, which was Saturday in America, and the news was going absolutely haywire. I had a few days to adjust to sink it all in, to get all the information that I need to do this. Now I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to do any more politics type of news and that because many people have their own opinion. They can sway whichever way they shall please. But I think this event is so important, not just to the American people, but to the world. Because what has transpired over the course of this event, there's been a lot of stories coming out that try to change the narrative when it was first broadcast to the public, to the nation, to the entire world. We'll get into all the meat and potatoes of what has now came out in the reports that now the police and the Secret Services knew up to 3 hours prior to the event of the shooter taking a shot on Donald Trump. He was known up to 3 hours prior, but we'll get into all that. I do have a tweet from Senator Ron Johnson how they were doing a congressional hearing in regard to this, and many people were only allowed to give them 4 questions, and that was it. But here's my take on all of this. I'm 100% positive, and if anyone doesn't agree with me, leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure that this was the very, very first time a live assassination attempt was broadcast live on national TV. Back in 1963 with the JFK assassination, that was not a live broadcast. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty certain there was no live television back in those days. Everything was pre-recorded. Therefore, they can edit stuff out, fit their narrative, so to speak. Then you had the Ronald Reagan assassination attempt. I truly don't think there was any live broadcast of that assassination attempt. Everything was pre-recorded. Everything was coming in as a delay that was pre-recorded from everything when President Reagan got shot. I'm pretty certain that this one is the very, very first time that the general public could actually see for themselves on live television of an assassination attempt on a former, if not to be the next president of the United States. I'm pretty certain that this was the very, very first time that this was shown live on TV. They can't edit anything out of it, even if they shall please. There's thousands of other people who have a cell phone, who are streaming on their devices to YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook. There was many eyes on this event. They can't hide anything from this event that happened on Saturday. But should we not be shocked that something like this was going to happen eventually? I remember back in 2016 after Donald Trump won the election against Hillary Clinton, I did say on a podcast, on a panel, it would not surprise me at all if there is an attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. I didn't know when, I didn't know how it's going to play out, but I did say this, as God is my witness. I did say this back in 2016. It would not surprise me one iota if the deep state or the CIA or the FBI or the Secret Services would try to pull an act to assassinate Donald Trump. And lo and behold, the election cycle is in full swing once again in America, and we saw it live on TV. Now, many say it was all staged. Get it out of your freaking thick heads. Do I think this is a false flag? Do I think this is an inside job? I truly believe it's an inside job, and here's my take on why I think that is. I used to do corporate security here in Australia. That we had to do security for bands, politicians, you name it, here in Australia. And yes, I did carry a firearm. But before an event, we have a meeting to locate the threats and dangers and all these other perimeters of a threat. We scale it out and we clear it out and we put a person there to maintain its protection of a person that we were protecting. Something failed in this dramatically. Whether it was from the top to the bottom or the person in the middle, the Secret Services need to be fired immediately. The police who were there, who actually climbed up the ladder and saw the shooter, and just because the shooter pointed the weapon in that police officer's direction, he scaled back down the ladder and let the person fire off a few rounds, narrowly missed by millimeters from an all-out catastrophe, in my opinion. The system failed. And here's the thing I always say, especially when I was doing security here in Australia. You do not get rejects. You do not get rejects from the police academy. They can't do the job to its fullest, no matter if you're male, female, or in between. If you can't do the job thoroughly and successfully enough, you're not fit for the job. Period. Someone's life did get ended in this event on Saturday. A former fireman officer who was shielding his own family from stray bullets that was being fired. He lost his life. 2 other people got shot and are still critically injured in the hospital. You do not employ rejects from the police academy who can't even do their job properly. Period. The system failed, the protection failed, and whoever was supposed to do a thorough check of the threats and dangers precluding all of this event, they need to be fired immediately. And if they have indeed made this event happen in such a way, they should be put into prison, in my opinion, to the full degree. Because if you did this, if you were employed to do this job to protect the leading person, the leading candidate who is a former president. If this was your job to protect this person and you fail to do so, your ass is on the line. There's one thing that my teammates used to say: cover your ass. Make sure you cover your ass, because if you do something just the slightness of fault, your ass is on the line. I worked in corporate security for so many years, and there were so many instances that, yeah, there was room for improvement. Yes, I will admit. But we never had a situation like what happened on Saturday in American Pennsylvania to go down the way it did. Never. And whoever is in charge of the security, whoever is in charge of protecting, whoever is in charge of doing a thorough check, make sure the perimeters are cleared, that person should be fired, and that person should be held accountable to the highest law of the land. Now, people say, but you're in Australia, Jamie, this shouldn't. Imagine this. If President Trump, former President Trump, did indeed get assassinated on Saturday, you will have world chaos. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm not doing any of that. But if you literally saw for the very first time a political figure get assassinated live on TV, perhaps for the very, very first time ever, there would have been world chaos. And people think that it's okay to go around on Twitter, to go around on Facebook, to go around on social media, to say hashtag don't miss next time. I'll ask a question to those people that put in that hashtag out. Imagine if that was you standing on that podium and someone fired a bullet towards you and it just missed you by a millimeter. Would you like the people in the public to go around and say, you better not miss next time? Would you? Now, you may not like President Trump, but do you advocate violence towards another person just because you simply don't like that person? Do you wish that person to be removed at any cost necessary just because you don't like his policies? You don't like the way he looks. You don't like the way he speaks. Ask yourself this question. If that was you on that podium, would you rather have people to say the exact same thing, which is currently going on social media right now? Don't miss next time. Because it comes to a point where this election cycle, especially on the Democrat side of things, is in shambles. Here's my opinion on that. I think this election that is currently coming up in November is going to be a default election. I truly believe Joe Biden is going to step down. Kamala Harris is going to be handed the acting president role. She's going to step down, And they're picking and choosing who shall be the candidate. Donald Trump will probably win by a landslide. But the other people from the Democrats, they weren't even elected in. Therefore, this will probably be a default election. Would Donald Trump win by default? I'll say, with the way things are going, yeah. Because he doesn't really have an opponent to run against. Seriously. You've got a guy currently now cancelled his speech because he got COVID. Comes out and says in a post, the only way that he will resign if the doctors say that he's got a medical condition. Well, he's got COVID now. Imagine if they do a diagnosis of him and find out that he's got Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and the lot. Imagine if, due to his health, he resigns. So there's one opponent that Donald Trump doesn't have to worry about for the election. So therefore, the baton will be handed over to Kamala Harris. Now imagine if she says, no, the job is too great for me to run. I'm not going to be putting my hand up for presidency candidate for election. Who have the Democrats got to look at? They're not even elected. They're just going to pick a name out of a hat and just hope for the best. Whoever they pick can beat Trump. Could it be a possibility that we see a Hillary Trump 2.0? And you know that many people don't like Hillary Clinton. But just imagine if Donald Trump did indeed get assassinated on Saturday. Now, I'm not going to say this was a near miss. This was indeed a near fucking hit. He tilted his head slightly at the right second, and it grazed his ear. But just imagine that you see it for the very first time on live television. His head explodes and brain splatter comes out the other end, live on television. And what will people say then? There'll be a certain amount of people be cheering from the left. Indeed, they'll be cheering on the left. But have a look at it from a standpoint. You've got cameras going everywhere. You've got people even live streaming on their cell phones. You can't hide any of this. Not like they try to do with the JFK assassination. Not like they try to do with the Robert Kennedy Sr. assassination. Like they try to do with the Ronald Reagan assassination attempt. This was shown live on TV. So what are you going to hide? You had people filming. You had mainstream media doing their razzmatazz. But who to say if that bullet did not miss Trump, where would we be today? Now, could it be possibility that this could even incite gun control? Now, let's go back to the 3-hour window that came out early this morning as a report. Apparently, the police knew the shooter up to 3 hours prior to the event. They've taken photos. They've scanned him. They even followed him. They lost sight of him. Then they gained sight of him yet again. But 3 hours. And no one even notified Trump, we have a threat on our hands. Here, stay here in this holding yard till we clear it out. who will have a staging area approximately 130 to 150 yards away from the main podium, where it's in line for a headshot. And that area that the shooter was on the roof, that was supposed to be a staging area for the Secret Services. Why didn't they not be anywhere near that building? Because it was an inside job. And to go on to Senator Ron Johnson, he says on X, the USSS Senate briefing was unbelievably uninformative. Only 4 questions were allowed. The rest of us are supposed to submit questions I already have, awaiting for a response, not holding my breath. Now, this is what he said. I'm reading it for you, right? To the Honourable Merrick Garland, Attorney General, Department of Justice, the Honourable Member of Mayorkas, Department of Homeland Security, the Honourable Christopher Wray, Director of FBI Investigation. Dear Attorney General Garland, Secretary Mayorkas, and Director Wray, on July 13, 2024, a nation experienced a tragedy. The attempt assassination of former President Donald J. Trump during an outdoor campaign rally at Butler, Pennsylvania. According to a report, the would-be assassin, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was armed with a rifle and was able to position himself on a roof, less than 150 meters, 164 yards, from the stage where former President Trump was speaking. From there, the suspected gunman apparently fired at the former president, wounding him. 2 spectators at the rally were critically injured, and sadly 1 person who was killed. According to Secret Service statement, after the gunman fired multiple shots from an elevated position outside the rally venue, U.S. Secret Services personnel neutralized the shooter, who is now deceased. While there is still much more information that is yet to be uncovered and shared with the public, the American people deserve a full explanation and complete transparency about this failure of security. Accordingly, I request that your agency preserve all records referring or relating to the protective detail of former President Trump, including the protective detail at the Butler campaign rally on July 13, 2024. Any threats made against the former president and how federal law enforcement address or will address those threats. In addition, please provide the following information. And here we go. 1, a copy of the security plan in place for the July 13, 2024 rally. That's the thing. There had to be a security plan. What was the plan? Can anyone provide from the Secret Services to the law enforcement the security plan that was in place for the event? And if that failed, everyone should be fired. 2, provide all records between and among the Secret Service, FBI, state and law enforcement officers referring or relating to July 13, 2024 rally. 3, a detailed description of the security measures in place for the July 13, 2024 rally, including but not limited to A, the size of the security perimeter established and how that perimeter size was selected. B, the total number of Secret Service personnel involved in the security preparation for the July 13, 2024 rally, including the total number on site during the rally. C, the total number of FBI personnel involved in the security preparation for the July 13, 2024 rally, including the total number on site during the rally. D, the total number of state and law enforcement officers involved in the security preparation for the July 13, 2024 rally, including the total number on site during the rally. E, a detailed list of Special Operations Division units, including the total number of personnel from each unit deployed for the rally, such as the counter-assault team and the counter-sniper team. F, a complete list of all federal, state and law entities that had access to or participated in the creation of the security plan for the July 13, 2024 rally. G, a complete list of all federal agencies, state and local law enforcement that provided agents and other personnel to provide security or other logistical resources for the July 13, 2024 rally. H, a detailed list of any countermeasure equipment deployed at the rally, including but not limited to unmanned aerial drones. And lastly, I, a description of the screening procedures used for the individuals entering the security perimeter established for the rally. 4. Did the Secret Service receive requests for additional security protection for former President Trump? If so, when were those requests made and by whom, and were those requests granted or denied? Please provide all records referring or relating to requests for additional security protection for former President Trump from November 15, 2022, when he announced his candidacy for the 2024 election, to present. 5. Was the Secret Service or FBI aware of any threats or other information concerning a potential security threat to former President Trump and the July 13, 2024 rally? 6. A detailed timeline of former President Trump's movement during the July 13, 2024 rally, including but not limited to when the former President Trump arrived at the event, when he walked on stage, when the shots were fired, when the Secret Service agents initially rushed to the stage, when the Secret Service agents escorted former President Trump off the stage, and when former President Trump was evacuated from the venue following the assassination attempt. 7. According to the reports, at least one rally attendee attempted to alert police. I believe there was many more, but we'll go over this a second. At least one person attempted to alert police to the presence of an individual on a building roof with a rifle, 5 to 7 minutes into 5 to 7 minutes into former President Trump's speech. Was Secret Services or the FBI made aware of this warning? If so, when did the Secret Services or FBI first become aware of this warning? A. Had the Secret Services or FBI interviewed rally attendees who reportedly attempted to alert police to the presence of the shooter? And B. Had the Secret Services or FBI identified and interviewed the police who reportedly received the alert about the presence of the shooter? And if so, please provide the names and associated law enforcement agencies for each of those individuals. 8. When and how did the Secret Services become aware of the suspected gunman? A. Did the suspected gunman evade Secret Service detection until the moment he opened fire? If so, why was the area in which the suspected gunman was located not closely monitored or secured? B. Was the building, including its roof, in which the suspected gunman was located, swept by Secret Service or other law enforcement prior to the rally? C. When did the suspected gunman arrive to the rally site in Butler, PA? When and how did he go to the roof of the building where he apparently took position? 9. Provide all official electronic communication, including but not limited to text messages between and among Secret Services, FBI, and other law enforcement agents from July 11, 2024 to July 14th of 2024, referring or relating to Butler, Pennsylvania event. 10. All details associated with the would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks, including but not limited to A, whether Crooks was on any watch list, or if the FBI, Secret Services, or local law enforcement was otherwise aware of him prior to July 13, 2024. B, any FBI file or other document associated with Crooks. C, the ATF Form 4473 associated with the suspected government weapon. D, a list of social media accounts associated with Crooks. E, whether Crooks had ever communicated to anyone about assassinating former President Trump, and if so, when and by whom. F, who, when, and where Crooks obtained any firearms used in the attempted assassination of former President Trump. And G, whether Crooks had any criminal history or history of mental health issues. 11, the number and type of weapons and bullets recovered, including the number of bullets fired from the suspected gunman during the rally. Have all the bullets fired by the suspected gunman been recovered? 12, provide all firearms tracing requests connecting to July 13, 2024 assassination attempt. 13, in addition to the weapons and bullets, what other items were discovered by law enforcement after the shooter was neutralized, including but not limited to electronic devices? 14, reports indicate that the suspected shooter had explosive devices in his car, which was parked near the rally. A, when did law enforcement locate the suspected shooter's car? When was it parked? How long had it been parked in that location? B, was the car parked in that area that was swept by Secret Service or other law enforcement prior to the rally? C, describe the type and amount of explosive device that was and were apparently found in the suspected shooter's car. And D, in addition to the explosive devices, what other items were discovered in the car, including but not limited to electronic devices? 15, all records referring or relating to any briefing provided to President Biden, Secretary Marakis, and Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheetle regarding the attempted assassination of former President Trump at the July 13, 2024 rally. And finally, 16, does the FBI and Secret Service believe that Crooks acted alone? This is from Senator Ron Johnson that I just read. All right? Senator Ron Johnson. There were the questions that was given to the USS State Senate briefing, right? And they haven't responded. They have not responded to that, right? And the problem is, will we ever get to know what really happened? We can say that no matter who was filming, whether it was a person with a cell phone, it was streamed live. The police, the Secret Service were told by several people there was a man on the roof, and they did absolutely sweet fuck all about it. Let's go to Laura Loomer to see what she had to say about this. The Democrat Party celebrate violence, right? Laura Loomer had just confronted Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheetle on video at a hotel in Milwaukee outside the RNC convention. Laura Loomer asked her if she agrees with calls for her resignation by congressional members. Right? We are here to talk about the assassination attempt on Donald J. Trump. We're not here to talk about anybody else. And the question should be asked. Just imagine if the bullet didn't miss? Well, seriously, the bullet didn't really miss. Trump still got hit. But imagine if his life was taken away. Now, let me just go here for a second. Let's go here. Let's go back to X for a second. Let's go to Don Bongino. Right? Let's go to Don Bongino. Let's hold up for a second. Okay, here for a sec. So, fellow man, socialist stage psyop. I ask you, fellow man, imagine if you were standing on that stage and the bullet missed you by a couple of millimeters. Would you rather have people to say, don't miss next time? This could have been the very first live assassination on anybody. It was on TV. Just imagine if Donald Trump's brain just fucking at the other end. This could have been the very, very first live assassination to be broadcast live all around the world. The JFK assassination wasn't broadcast live. They didn't have live TV back in 1963. Robert F. Kennedy assassination. That wasn't shown live. That was pre-recorded. You didn't see that live. You had live reports, but no one had it live coming into the studio. Everything was pre-taped back in those days. But yeah, you had it live on TV on Saturday, and this could have been the very, very first assassination live on TV. But people want to say it was staged. Okay, I asked this question. If his head would have been blown off, would that make any difference? It was on TV. It wasn't live. You're not hearing me. Take the cotton wools out of your fucking ears. It was not live. The Robert Kennedy assassination, the JFK assassination, it wasn't live. Yes, we had reports coming in. But the difference between those assassinations and the one that happened on Saturday as an attempt, at least Saturday, it was shown live. You had other people filming, live streaming to their social media accounts. It was live. Take the fucking shit out of your fucking ears and start paying attention. Imagine if that was you in that position. Imagine if that was you standing on that very same spot in just millimeters. Your head being blown off. I like to see anybody to go up to Donald Trump's face and say exactly the same shit that you're saying right now to his face. It was staged. I dare you to go up to his son, to his daughter, to his wife, and say the exact same thing that you're saying right now. That was all staged. I dare that same people that are tweeting hashtag don't miss net time to say it to Donald Trump's face. I dare any one of you. But you don't have the balls to do so. You just want to sit behind a keyboard and spurt your shit saying that it's all fake, it was staged. Try to say that to his face and see how far you get. You are millimeters, fuck that, millicentimeters away from total chaos if it succeeded. If you would have seen brain splatter, it would have been an upheaval. Not just in America, all around the world. And people just want to sit behind a fucking keyboard saying it was staged. Put your shoes in the exact same position and have the exact same thing happen to you. Would you like to have other people to comment and say that it was staged? Would you like other people to put a hashtag don't miss it again? Would you hope and pray that somebody out there would do the job right the next time? Ask yourself a fucking serious question. That many people just want to sit on their own fucking keyboard and think they want to be the drama queens, and they're the ones that causing the fucking drama, and not really paying attention to slight fucking details that there was a major security breach from the top down that was supposed to support and provide security, not just for President Donald Trump, but for the people that attended the rally. Remember, someone did get killed and 2 people are still currently in hospital critical. It wasn't that it missed. Someone got hit. I'm kidding, am I? Piss off. Get out of here. We don't need you here, fella man. Do your shit elsewhere. I'm not playing games anymore. If you want to come into the chat room and be a jerk off, you're banned. Do your shit on another fucking channel. Put yourself in the shoes of the thousands that attended. It wasn't that it missed. Someone still got hit. As a matter of fact, 3 people got hit. Make it 4, including Trump. It wasn't a near miss. It was a near fucking hit to Donald Trump. Call it what you want, but put it in a plain hindsight. Imagine you saw it live on TV, the brain popping out. Let's be graphic if we shall. But people don't fucking want to care. Who gives a shit about Donald Trump? Do you give a shit about civil war? Oh, do you give a shit about civil unrest? I can guarantee you the world would be turned upside fucking down if it happened. As a matter of fact, the Iranian government has already sent a letter to kill President Trump in Michigan. And you have people crossing the border in the southern America illegally who come from that part of the world. We know that Donald Trump got a rally coming up in Michigan in the near future. There's already been a letter sent out by the Iranian government to kill President Trump. And people just want to be jerk offs. People say, what do you think about censorship? It's not censorship. I just don't put up with bullshit anymore in the chat room. I run this channel the way I want to run this channel. You can comment and do your commentary elsewhere. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to see it. So, in a polite way, just fuck off and leave me alone. Is that there's more to ask? I'm doing the news. You want to do the who said who said this? I don't fucking pay attention to that shit. You want to cause drama? Do it on your own channel. Do it on somebody else's channel. But you don't fucking do it here. I can ban whoever I want to ban. You can go and do your own shit elsewhere. This is important stuff. The stuff that you people talk about and jerk off to, that's not important. This is important. But none of you will have the fucking balls to say what you want to say in this chat room to Donald Trump's face. None of you people want to say the exact same thing to his family's face, that it was a stage Saturday, that it was a psyop. Say it to his face and see how far you get. Say it to his face. Don't sit behind a fucking keyboard. Say it to his face. I dare you. Any one of you. Because you sit there, think it's all rosy to talk about other people's shit. But when it comes to the serious side of things, when someone's head could have been blown off on live TV, that doesn't matter to you, does it? None of that matters. Why does it matter to me? Because it could have changed the fucking world upside down. Don't you fucking realize this? And this election could be a default election. Donald Trump may not have an opponent to really run against. Therefore, he's going to win by default. He's going to win by a landslide, whether you like it or not. But this election could be a default election. Donald Trump doesn't really have an opponent to run by or run against. That's why they want to take his own life. This is indeed an inside job. There was not just a lone shooter. Security apparatus failed miserably. Failed miserably. And whoever is in charge, whoever was put in position to provide that security, that protection, and fail to do so, every one of them should be fired, and if not, be put into prison for allowing this to happen. Because when I was working as a corporate protection here in Australia, anyone on my team that failed to do their job, not only would you get fired, there's serious ramifications for not providing and doing the job correctly. That's what we are trying to do. We go through a training module before we get the job. We had meetings, we have everything in place before an event happens. If we're providing protection to the Prime Minister, if we were providing protection to a band member, VIP, you name it, if we fail to do our job, just a small touch, we get our ass kicked, and in a big way. But some of these people who are just removed, they have no comprehension in that. They don't know what corporate security is. They think it's all fun and games. Mm-mm. And I've got personal scars to prove what I was doing. Secret Service, it's like corporate security. It's the top fucking tier of providing security and protection to a person. True, BlackRock is. And this alleged shooter, he was in a BlackRock commercial at his high school, which that video has been deleted. So you put one and one together. I've done corporate security too, here in Australia. And when I saw it, I said, someone's got to be held accountable for the lack of personnel. No one did that job properly. Then you see some lady couldn't even put the gun back in her holster properly. She's fiddling around like she was on a set of The Matrix. Joe Biden's supposed to got COVID right now. That's why he suspended his speech. There's also a report that he might drop out if the doctor says that he's got a medical condition. Therefore, Donald Trump really has got no one to run against, has no opponent. Therefore, this election is a default. You know, Biden could be just a fake person himself. There's so many people and so many things that there should be a body double. Besides the point is this. Someone did lose their life. Somebody did get hit. It wasn't a near miss. It wasn't that somebody missed. Somebody got hit. Somebody's life has ended. And then there's people on social media say, hashtag don't miss again. This is what boils my blood. No matter if you talk about politics, no matter if you talk about the Bunkerville event that happened in 2014, 2016, psyops this and psyop. Not everything's a psyop. Not everything is fake. This could possibly been, if it played out the way it wanted to, the very first assassination attempt or very first assassination shown live on TV. This could have been the worst day ever in American history. Not to those that hate Trump, but those who are moderate, those in the middle, and those who support him. This could have been the worst day of America. It could have been. People will say, oh, he's just another pawn to get rid of. He's just another chess piece to move off the board. But paint yourself a picture. They try to take everything away from you. Your livelihood, your finances, everything. Including your own life. Imagine if that was you. Just stop for a moment and think about that. Imagine if this was you in this same position. They took your finances away. They tried to put you in jail. They get you on a suspected sexual assault charge. They already convicted you as a felon in a state where that law doesn't really apply to the Republicans. And yet, you almost had your life taken away. Imagine if that was you in that situation. Where perhaps the world is against you. But you stood firm. Yeah, you may raise your fist and shout out, fight, fight, fight. People have their own belief system. People love Trump. People hate Trump. People are tweeting out, hashtag don't miss again. I don't believe he's a millionaire. Whoever made that scenario is just full of shit. Someone lost their lives. Right? You call it fate. All right, see you later. I'm not putting up with bullshit. People are going to come in here and say it's fake. Do it on your own channel. It's not fake. I'm saying this. If it didn't hit his ear, but it hit right here and came through the other, would you be saying it's fake then? I'll leave you with that. To all the haters out there, kiss my shiny ass and live prosperously.